Daffy was, he loved working with Tex. That was his best experience at the studio all those years. And because they were both like guys that wanted to get more wild with the cartoons and the characters, and they both would, they'd go out to dinner and work on gag ideas and work on story ideas, and there was just a real great connection between the two of them. And so when Tex was doing the cartoon where Porky is going hunting,
Mhm.
and for ducks, and so he and Bob had all these discussions, and they had this idea of like all these ducks being crazy and doing different things. And so at one point, Dad went to him and said, I think it'd be better if just one of the ducks was like this real crazy character. And he said to Bob, okay, I want you to do that scene and I'll let you do it how you want, because he knew how far Dad could push things. And so um, it was like really a groundbreaking moment. And, again, this was all inspired by Tex, but, this is how it all came together. So this is the scene in the cartoon where it's where he finally leads the scene. So he starts woohoo and
Mhm.
jumping up and down and like just being completely insane, like crazy, and all the way out to the edge of the water. And Tex thought it was great. He loved it, and Dad was thrilled. Anyway, when they showed it internally, which they would do with the cartoons before it went to the theater, everybody loved that character, and they were like, can we get more of him in that cartoon? But they never had the time or budget to put, go
Yeah.
back and redo something. So Dad suggested that he add Daffy in the end titles.
Mhm.
And this has never been done in one of the cartoons. So at the end of that cartoon, if you see the titles, he has Daffy bouncing and woo-wooing all around the titles and stuff. And so really his involvement with Daffy, whether he was working, for Tex or not, he had a very strong vision for him of being this really crazy duck. So if you look at Daffy Duck, where he's crazy in the hospital, poor Porky is his patient, and going all the way to the Great Piggy Bank Robbery, or Baby Bottleneck, where him and Porky are like, where all the babies are coming. It was take off after the war of all these, the baby boom. And
Yeah.
so this cartoon is, they get all the animals mixed up. They're shipping the wrong animals to the wrong mothers and all this stuff. And Daffy's just gone completely psycho. Dad always pushed Daffy to, from the very beginning to his craziest. And, uh, I have to say, this is an important thing to say today, is that Dad had a very special connection with Lance Lessinger and appreciated him so much, because he's a hardcore businessman, and he didn't love everything about him, but he gave the artists complete freedom. As long as they could do whatever they wanted, as long as they got it done in time and on budget. And so like Wacky Land, when he saw it, he looked at Bob and said, this is Bobby's wet dream. I mean, this is like so crazy. But he let it go. He wanted to get a reaction in theaters and have people like them. And so he got spoiled by that. Anything he did after, where suddenly the business people are telling you what to do, I think that in some ways he sort of spoiled Dad for life in that regard. But yeah, Daffy was always a wild character in Dad's cartoons. I don't think you can find one where he's kind of laid back.
Yeah. Not at all.